So then let's move on to the Brighton game, 5:30 on Saturday. Again, a tricky game away as well.
Yeah, I mean, tricky. They're all tricky, Premier League games. But, if we can go to Brentford and win, we can go to Brighton and win. We've won there last year 3-0, 4-2 the previous season. I look at that defensive record that you're talking about. Across the last 6 games, Palace was different because they really came at us, didn't they? And they created some chances. And that result maybe was skewed because that 5-1 was maybe not a 5-1er. The other games in this run of 6... Brentford had the highest expected goals against us across the 5 of those 6 games with 0.32, which is basically nothing. This Arsenal team has shut down 5 of the last 6 opponents. We can absolutely shut down Brighton. So let's go there, be as solid as we have been, and I'm confident that we will score goals. But Brighton don't keep that many clean sheets. They're having a sticky patch. I think they're winless in 7, aren't they? So yeah, I think we can go there and win professionally.
Yeah, and I think the one concern would be probably at right back with no Timber who's suspended. I mean, you could put Thomas Partey there, but we were saying how good he was in midfield. And I do think Arsenal lack something when he moves out of there and plays right back.
Who else would you put?
I mean, the only other option is, I think Calafiori played, maybe it was PSG, might have done sort of a bit of time there, which feels a stretch. But I mean, beyond that, there isn't really many options.
So then who are you going to put left?
You could play Lewis Skelly left back, who I thought Calafiori looked a little rusty. I think Lewis Skelly's a bit unlucky to lose his place there, but
I agree.
I think it's a difficult one to decide what to do then, and it will probably, if Partey plays there, it'll be a big show of faith if he plays Nwaneri again, because as good as he was, I still think defensively there were times where Timber was sort of covering for him, and if you're playing Partey there, I think you'd want maybe someone a bit more seniority to try and cover. But that's the one area I'd be concerned, because we know how many wingers Brighton have got. I mean, countless Matoma, Dingra, the list goes on. So that is probably the one area I think Arsenal will be concerned about. What do you do at right back if you've not got Timber?
Yeah, and whether players like Kai Havertz are back and fit, ready to contribute. I mean, this is the thing. I'm sitting here 20 minutes ago saying it has to be Nwaneri starting at right wing. The reality is the games are coming so thick and fast that we're going to have to move people around. We're going to have to try different things, and everyone's going to have to contribute somewhat. So I was the same as you, Simon. I was a bit gutted not to see Miles Lewis-Skelly start last night. I thought he was brilliant the last few games, but he's going to get starts. All of these players are going to have to contribute, and as much as anything, we've got to keep as many of them fit as possible, because Arteta said himself, and I think in the press conference before Brentford, he said, we started this season with one of the thinnest squads in the league. It's got to get thicker soon. Do you know what I mean? We've got to strengthen the team.
Whose fault was that?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Declan Rice was obviously, I hate to bring it up, but he was sent off in this fixture, obviously, earlier this year.
Oh, I can't remember that.
Really? I know, I hate to bring it up, and I don't want to bring it up. Are we feeling the same? Not the same, but is that feeling with us still?
No, you just got to let it go. It's with us because we're barracking every single referee at Emirates Stadium that doesn't book someone for obstructing a free kick. So we're not going to forget about it, but it's not Brighton. It's not, Veltman, who, for me, definitely played for that red card or played for the second yellow. It was a fake restart because the ball was moving. He had no one to pass to. He manufactured a situation where it looked like Rice blocked a free kick. But for me, it wasn't a legitimate free kick. So we've got our quibbles about it, but it's done. It's done now, and we've got to get our own back on the pitch, haven't we? And I think Declan Rice will probably be a really key player, won't he? Especially if Partey does go to right back, he'll come into that base of the midfield, and then it'll be interesting to see who plays either side. It'll probably be Ødegaard to the right, but will it be who will it be on the left-hand side? Will it be Marino again, or would it be Kai Havertz with Jesus up front, like it was in the Ipswich game? So, there's a little bit of a conundrum.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what Simon says about it, the idea of a right flank of Thomas Partey and Ethan Nwaneri, with the strength that Brighton have got on the left. So I would understand if it was a case of Jesus moving over to the right, maybe, Havertz at 9, Marino keeps his place at left day. For me, I don't want to hammer him because we know he's had a kid recently, and Ødegaard's been quiet the last few weeks, I have to say. And I think, especially in the absence of Saka, in that kind of right, pod almost, you'd want Ødegaard to stand up a bit more. And the big thing I'd want with Timber's absence, but I think Timber's absence is a really big absence. I think in the last sort of month or two, Timber looks like a captain on the pitch. He wins every single duel. He's so intense from the first minute. He drags us into the opposition half. He commits people. When there's moments in a game where we're not managing to penetrate, he'll just go on a dribble and have a shot if he wants to. And I kind of want to see that level of personality from Ødegaard in this game. So I don't want to hammer him. He's our captain. He's been one of our best players over the last 2.5 years. But I do think he's been quiet. And this might be a game with Timber out, obviously still Bukayo Saka out, where on that right-hand side, he really needs to step up and have a big performance.
Yeah, agreed. Look, we talked earlier about 5 and 10%. Everybody needs to raise it, and others have, and I don't think Martin has yet. But like you say,
one goal this season. I think it was a penalty.
Yeah,
that's not the player we used to.
Martin Ødegaard.
Yeah, the guy who got 15 Premier League goals.
Been a bit safe with his passing, hasn't he? Yeah, he just hasn't hit the heights, but we know he'll be back. Yeah, maybe this is the game. He's had good games there before. Remember that brilliant pass, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Set Martinelli away, wasn't it, for a goal? That was brilliant.
I mean, that fixture a couple of times has become one of those real back and forth transitional games. And I thought it was interesting. You mentioned Martinelli there. Once we went, I think it was 2 or 3-1 up yesterday. Martinelli suddenly comes alive because as soon as a team has to come onto us, there's space for him to run. And you do wonder if Brighton, they do like to commit to attacks. Yeah. They do like to play attacking football. So you wonder if this might suit a player like Martinelli and someone like Ødegaard who can just release players quickly on transition.
It should suit Arsenal, this game, because Brentford were always going to retreat. Yeah. I think that was obvious. The same with Ipswich, same with Everton. They'll be more like Palace, I would imagine, because they've got such good forward players. They want to press. Hurtzler is that kind of coach. I don't see them putting that blue and white striped wall back. And whenever a team plays with that press against us, I like it. I think the team likes it. So, yeah, hopefully we can go down there and score some goals.
And in my opinion, it would be simply stunning if Declan Rice does score a goal. I just, I feel like it would be good karma. So now let's move on to Newcastle. We're playing them Tuesday night in the Carabao Cup. Where does this game rank in priority?
It's one of the biggest games of the month, I think. Against a team that Arsenal sort of have this brewing rivalry with. I think back to that a couple of years ago at the Emirates where it was the ball in play was something like the lowest in Premier League. It was 50 minutes in play or something, and there was the needle between Howe and Tyndall and Arteta. And that was kind of where it started, and it's grown since then. Obviously, the goal last season at St James's. I think Arsenal, when they played them at the Emirates, kind of had a bit of intent of wanting to put a marker down. And against a Newcastle team who looked really, really good, I must admit, last few weeks, absolutely flying. So yeah, given what we spoke about, trophies and the need to win something, I think it's up there with sort of one of the biggest games this month.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.